In terms of the Rookie of the Year finalists, I mean, Paolo's going to win by a landslide, but like, which out of J-Dub, Jalen Williams, Walker Kessler, I'll throw in Jabari Smith Jr. and Paolo Banchero. Out of those four guys, which one do you think is going to have the best fantasy impact next year?
I think it's Kessler, just because of what he brings to the table defensively. Then also the field goal percentage. Now, you're going to take a hit with the free throws, but I don't think it's going to be to the point where you have to look into a free throw punt roster. So I think he's going to be fine with the rebounds and the blocks. His playing time is only going to increase. You know, they started out the year coming off the bench, and they kind of cleared that up, moved him into the starting lineup. I think he's going to be able to play at least 30 minutes per game next year. And he top 60 this year as a rookie. So I think his ceiling fantasy wise, I don't know where it is, but it's very high. I think Kessler's that guy for me.
So where do you rank those four guys? So you got Kessler number one. Where do you put J-Dub, Banchero, and Jabari Smith?
I would go Kessler 1, J-Dub 2. Banchero and Smith is tougher than I think we would imagine in terms of fantasy value. I think I would take Banchero just because of his playmaking ability, and also the fact that we know who his head coach is going to be next year. We don't know that with Houston, and I don't know if I trust that Houston front office, regardless of who they hire as a head coach. So I think I'm going to go Banchero 3 and then Smith 4.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think Walker Kessler is going to be the best fantasy player by ranking. He's probably going to have the highest ADP as well, just for that. I mean, he can win you a category. Field goal percentage is going to be solid, double-double. That's a fantasy big man that I definitely want to invest in, especially given his youth. Where I would probably differ is that I think Banchero is going to take a leap and he's going to improve on his field goal percentage, less turnovers. That's going to be his team. I think you're going to be looking at 20 plus points, 7 rebounds, maybe 4 assists, 4 or 5 assists, and then if he can actually figure out how to shoot a 3-pointer, which I think we'll get up to at least a half a 3-pointer, maybe 0.7, 0.8. He's going to be way better than his ranking shaked out this year. I think we can get him to be a top 80 player next year, which would be a substantial leap. Jalen Williams, I'm a bit concerned only because of what that offense is going to look like with Chet there, potentially what their draft pick's going to be. There's going to be a lot of mouths to feed, and Shea's the first one that's going to eat. So as he's an unselfish player, I think maybe we'll see a little bit of that usage kind of go down. Defensively, still beast. He'll shoot over 50% from the field, which is great for fantasy purposes. I'm just wondering where those counting stats, I think that's going to be a little bit less with more talent around him. Because he was outstanding this year. I just don't know if he's going to be able to replicate that to the tune of top 70 player. And Jabari Smith, I think you're right. I think it's the head coaching. What is that going to look like? Also a lot of mouths to feed there too, but they're going to have, a pretty significant draft pick on their hands too. And, there's already rumors of them wanting Brandon Miller. Maybe it's Scoot. I don't know. This is another player that potentially could take the ball out of his hands. But then what's that coaching staff going to look like? So, Jabari, I feel like has the tools to be a good fantasy asset. Just too many question marks in Houston right now. And who knows? Maybe James Harden decides to shake the world up and go back to Houston here. I would hope that he didn't. But if he's trying to win a championship, I don't see why he would do this. But we know that man loves Houston and some strip clubs. So, it makes sense that he would want to go back there. Philly is not it for that.